here is an update on the Adansi helicopter crash that claimed the lives of 8 Ghanaian compatriots, 5 government representatives, and 3 crew members. As at 6th August that the incident had happened, it happened around 10 a.m. because the flight had taken off around 9:12 a.m. The news was made public by the Chief of Staff. He announced that all members on the helicopter had died and all that. So after the confirmation by the Chief of Staff, the Ghana Armed Forces deployed a rescue team to go and look for the bodies of these 8 Ghanaian compatriots, and the bodies were retrieved. And at around 10 p.m. on that same day, the bodies were brought back to Accra, the Air Force Base, where soldiers received all 8 bodies. But then identification hadn't been made, and so even though the bodies were retrieved in 8 different caskets, we do not know which one is who. Fast forward, the president had announced a 3-day national mourning for these 8 Ghanaian citizens who had lost their lives in the helicopter crash. We started yesterday. That was 7th August, Thursday, 7th August 2025. And then the first day, a ceremony was held at the the Flagstaff House for these people, and then some dignitaries had laid wreath and then some had presented flowers and all that to honor the legacies of these 8 people who had lost their lives. The president was present. He was seen publicly shedding tears. Some other senior members of the state were also present to lay their wreath, to pay their respects, to share in the sorrow of the nation and all that. On that same day, the president had addressed the nation. He had given an approximately 8 minutes address to the nation pertaining to what had happened, also confirming that, oh yes, all of these 8 people had died during the incident. Investigations is still ongoing into what actually caused the helicopter crash, but then as at now, we do not know what actually caused it. But then the Ghana Armed Forces has set up an inquiry team that is looking into what actually happened, and then when it is ready, the whole public is going to know what actually happened, what caused the death of 8 of these 8 compatriots who were going to carry out a national task, a national duty. So the black box in the helicopter has been retrieved according to information that has come out, and then this black box contains flight data and some recordings. It is going to help the Ghana Armed Forces determine what actually happened, what caused the helicopter to crash. As I mentioned earlier, when the 8 bodies were retrieved, they were put into 8 different caskets. We do not know which one is who, and so the bodies have been flown to South Africa. Samples of the bodies have been flown to South Africa for forensic analysis, for DNA testing to determine which one of the bodies is who. And then when the news came out that they are taking the bodies to South Africa to determine which one is who, to carry out a forensic analysis, Ghanaians have spoken. Some expressing their dissatisfaction, saying that why can't you do the test in the country? Why does it have to be South Africa? So the Honorable Minister for Health, Honorable Minka Kando, replied these people. He dropped some statement explaining why the test is supposed to be done in South Africa.
A lot of people have been asking questions why this test wasn't done here in the country.
Well, even if anything at all is done in the country, sometimes we may require further confirmation outside the country. And so that's exactly what we are doing at the moment.
So how swift is this expected to be done?
Well, it is our prayers that it is done as soon as possible.
Thank you so much for your time.
So according to information, the test will take up to 6 to 12 hours before the results are ready and all that. So as I speak, today is day 2 of the national mourning declared by President John Mahama in honor of the legacies of all these 8 people. Day 2, and day 2 we saw the the First Lady of the country, Her Excellency Lordina Mahama, going to pay her respect, laying her wreath. She went along with some other with her family and some other ministers, especially Sam George. Sam George was there, and then he was visibly seen crying, weeping, shedding some tears. And then the First Lady also, weeping and shedding some tears. It's a very sad day for the country. It's been a very sad week for the country, and it's really sad. So another information that has come out is that there's going to be a state funeral for all of these 8 people come 15th August 2025. And it's going to be a state funeral. My name is Randall. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for notifications on every new post that I make.